Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to Monday Marketing with Suzanne. This is week one of my Planning for 2021 series because I can't believe it, but here we are, and it's mid-November. I am Suzanne Moore, and I help independent women entrepreneurs to focus on the 2 to 3 things they really need to focus on in order to bring revenue into their business instead of feeling frustrated by all the shoulds that they should be doing. So I wanted to start this series by acknowledging the craziness of what 2020 has looked like and the unknowns of 2021, because I don't think that you can really talk about the upcoming year without really acknowledging that we don't know what's going to happen. And we didn't know what was going to happen at this time, when we were planning for 2020, did we? We had no clue what was going to hit us. And so there are a few things that I really want you to remember as we're heading into the planning for this year. The first is one that was shared with me. You know what? If you're here, let me know, say hi, give me some hearts or some love, or say hi in the comments. And that's true if you're here in person as I'm recording this, or if you come back and you watch the recording later. I'd love to know your thoughts. Okay, so when I first started my MBA program, a very long time ago now, like 20 plus years ago, I went into the auditorium the first day and I was told, ambiguity is your friend. And I was in a room full of I think it was about 160 people. And that was the message from the professors. Ambiguity is your friend. And we were all like, say what? Like, we're here to learn so that we know the right things and, all that. And I don't think there's ever been a time where that lesson has been more important than the experiences that I've had in 2020. And I think that 2021 is going to be it's certainly feeling a bit ambiguous, isn't it? So I just wanted to kind of remind you that while this year has been particularly crazy and chaotic and different, we really don't know what's going to happen any year. And there are always things that throw us off, that shift what we need to do, and that come up that we never would have expected. And some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller, but they're always things, right? And so what I encourage you to do is to, as you're looking forward to 2021, give yourself some grace. Realize that, I think a lot of us take stock of how the last year has gone at this time, right? And it probably, you probably haven't hit all your goals. You probably haven't accomplished all the things that you set out to accomplish. And, don't beat yourself up about it. My motto this year, every time I've been out and every time I've been frustrated with someone or something, and I have started to get that snarly little bit inside myself that kind of wants to lash out, I just stop myself and I remind myself that we are all just doing our best. And really, that's a good lesson for all the time. But we are all just doing our best, and that is all we can do. That said, I don't want you to let the unknowns of 2021 keep you from setting some big goals for yourself, or at least one, right? At least one thing. And so what I want you to think about is, instead of getting caught up in our tendency to think, but I don't know if I'll be able to XYZ, right? When are things going to change? Are things going to change soon enough that I could do ABC, right? We don't know. So whatever you plan, I want to encourage you, or whatever your big goal is, I want to encourage you that it is something that you can do regardless of what the larger impact of, the outside world is, right? So there are lots of things that you can create for your business, that you can do to support your business, that you can retool in your business, that you don't need, you know, you don't need things to be opened up. You don't need to be able to be in a room of 200 people to do. Uh, you don't need to be able to network in person to do, et cetera, right? Um, so, the coming year, of course, we're going to have this squishiness of, is it okay to do this? Is it not okay? There are some people that feel comfortable. There are other people that don't feel comfortable. What I encourage you to do is to look at your personal goals in your business and to look at your business as a whole and say, instead of what I can't do, what can I do? What positive things can I accomplish? I realize that in doing this, each of you is going to be coming to it from a different place. There are some of you that are, probably like basically homeschooling very young elementary children. And your time is completely different than what it was a year ago or 2 years ago. There are also some of you who are very likely just feeling unmotivated because maybe you are better at being out and about in the world and you're just feeling uninspired, right? I get it. I get it. Things have been crazy at my house, especially since the school year started. But that doesn't mean that you can't set a really honest goal for yourself and have it be something that can greatly and positively impact your business. And the last thing I want to talk about here, because next week is going to be really about setting that big goal and how can we create the time and space for it in our schedule. I had a conversation with a new client recently, and as many of us do, she was speaking about her business a little bit negatively, right? The frustration of where she hoped she'd be instead of where she is was coming out. The frustration of not having a huge number of clients coming at her all the time was coming out, right? And we really talked about what she wanted her business to look like. And what we discovered was, in order for her to feel successful at the end of the work that we do together, she needs to get like 2 clients a month. And she was surprised by that number because I think we all have this picture of like, we should have clients flying at us all the time and we should have so many, right? But we all have different goals in our businesses in terms of, what we want to achieve, revenue goals, how we want it to fit into our overall lifestyle. And it's important to think about those when we start to judge ourselves in our business. So think about where your business fits into the bigger picture of your life, and then think about what that big goal might be for the coming year. Because it may be that there's a simpler version of your goal than you find yourself in when you are focusing on all those shoulds and all those frustrations and all the things that don't happen. Or all the things that you wanted to have happen in 2020 that didn't. So don't allow your mind to focus on the negative. Instead, focus on the positive and on what one thing, if you achieve it, in 2021 is going to allow you to turn around at the end of the year and say, you know what? I've had 2 crazy years in a row because of all of what's gone on. But I set this one goal for myself and I achieved it. So think about what that goal is and let's focus on that next week as we move forward in our planning. Okay, I hope this has been valuable to you. I would love to hear from you in the comments. And if you need support in figuring out what this goal should be for you, I invite you to grab a free strategy session with me. You can do that at schedulewithsuzanne.as.me. Again, schedulewithsuzanne.as.me. Thank you and have a great week, everyone. See you next week.